I'd like to share the story where we got our name, Dominican Starfish Foundation. One day, a man was walking along the beach when he noticed a boy picking up something and gently throwing it into the ocean. Approaching the boy, he asked, "What are you doing?" The youth replied, "Throwing starfish back into the ocean. The surf is up, the tide is out. If I don't throw them back, they'll die." "Son," the man said, "don't you realize there are miles and miles of beach and thousands of starfish? You can't make a difference." After listening politely, the boy bent down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. Then, smiling at the man, he said, "I made a difference to that one." We know that we can't possibly make a difference to everyone in the Dominican, but we can make a difference one family at a time. With the help of my journal and photo albums, I've created a mostly chronological slideshow of some of our activities this past. We were privileged to have Rod and Sherry Windorf from Raymond, Alberta with us. They have their own foundation in Peru. They brought so many toys for the children in the community. The Barbie doll dresses were made by some of the seniors in Raymond. In November, we bought a partially finished home for Renee and Belina. Finishing work on the home started the day we arrived in January. We were able to watch as it progressed. The first home we built in 2013 was for Mila. Since then, we've been looking after her and taking food to her. Mary in Canada sends money to feed her. We are now raising funds for home number 80. We make sure our guests have some fun and free time. Doug went deep sea fishing, and we enjoyed the fish the following day at our barbecue. Judy Gardner made so many beautiful baby blankets and donated diapers, school supplies, and more that we were able to distribute in the community. We visited the Polanco home many times, taking guests to see their living conditions. We are always looking for help as we continue to raise money to build houses for those in need. We heard of some Venezuelan refugees camping out in a vacant home. They had come with only one small suitcase and the clothing on their backs to the Dominican Republic. We were able to buy them a stove, a fridge, food, and household items. We visited Frank's school several times and took school supplies, clothing, baby packs, toys, dental supplies, and more. We hosted a business group who came for a week for a humanitarian vacation with their Sweet Sheets company. We delivered food and sheets in the community. In 2012, when we first started our foundation, we rebuilt a school in Mahiolo, which is only a few minutes walking distance from the resort. We visited every trip and take school supplies, toys, food, and more. We spent time with a large group sorting clothing donations at our center in Javier, and we distributed to members of the community. We shared a dinner with Kelvin's family, who recently moved into their new home that Ray and Terry Arsenal raised the funds for. We worked with Tom Smiley to organize a fundraiser for Denny, who was in an accident. A total of $24.50 was raised, most of which went to help with medication for his mother, who is very ill with cancer. The money was raised with Chairman's Circle and shareholder members of Lifestyle Resort. Members of our group brought and donated iPads to several university students. We visited at Kate's school several times on our trip with donations of food, shoes, clothing, school supplies, and financial assistance from our guests. One group spent the morning doing crafts with the younger children. We also took Kate to our center and gave her clothing for her students and her 7 live-in boys. We raised money and hosted a wedding for Junior and Mary Angie, one of the families we built a home for last year. We like to take time to visit our starfish families, the ones we have helped to have homes and more. It is nice to see them making their own improvements. This is Antonia's home. Her home was sponsored by Lifestyle members. Her old house fell down the day we got a sponsor in 2016. It's so nice to see people keeping their homes beautiful. We find that when people sponsor a family, they continue to care for their starfish. Charlotte and Doug Palmer have sponsored 3 families and helped with many others. They visit their families with gifts each time they come. Jeff and Angela Tabak, some of our guests, brought much needed new beds for Junior and Mary Angie and their family. We hired machinery and leveled the land where our future playground will be. We found a sponsor for Giuliani and Ravel to have a new home. We are so grateful to Wade Payne and family for donating the funds for this house. It was started on February 1st and finished just as we came home on March 12th. It was great to watch the progress. We got to watch with fascination as a ceiling was poured on Jose's home. He is in an area where a cement roof is code. During our stay, we got to watch the progress on the home. It will be finished in about 2 weeks. We raised funds for more surgery for baby Carolina. Unfortunately, she passed after her 7th surgery at age 6 months. Her grandpa Francisco had a beautiful sign made for our center. Some of our guests, Jeannie, Margaret, and Gloria, took Days for Girls hygiene packs that they had sewn and donated them at Dove Missions. They were very well received. Also at Dove Missions, Jeannie, Margaret, and Gloria planted in the rooftop garden seeds that they had brought. They also shared dental packs. We visited and took donations to the Javier Clinic. We sorted donations of clothing, bedding, and towels that Jeannie, Margaret, and Gloria brought at our Starfish Center and then delivered them to the families in the community of La Chocolatera. We also passed out little hats that Gloria had knitted. Sharing bedding and towels at La Chocolatera was a great experience. We were surprised that most people chose a blanket first. With some of our guests, along with volunteer English teachers from ILP, we painted Renee and Belina's home. We donated dental items to the children at Isabelita School and taught a small class. We also had toys for all the children. We presented Renee and Belina with their new home. They have a family of 10. After seeing the conditions of their beds, we raised money for Renee and Belina to have new beds and their first ever stove. They were overjoyed. We traveled 2.5 hours to Mocha, where Bonnie had purchased a little home for Patricia and Calvin. We spent a few hours with them. 2 days later, we got photos of their finished home. We met the Toribio family and put out a call to help them with a home. We got half of the money for their home the first day from some of our friends. More friends from another family are raising the other half. We started a fundraiser to get Mundo a leg. Zoe Palmer, age 16, from Edmonton, is spearheading this effort. We learned his story. Every day he is out on his crutches cleaning the streets. He has a little fruit stand to support himself. We hosted 7 students from the Pre-Med Club of the University of Lethbridge. Their first project was to share food packs in the community of Aviar. Royce and Melody Woodruff brought their whole family of 19 to the resort. They gave much service in the community. Their grandchildren had done fundraisers for school supplies, baby packs, and more. Kate's school touched their hearts. The Pre-Med students painted Kalasa and Antonia's home. We found a sponsor for Trinidad's home. It will need a lot of time and help. Diane, who has been paying the rent for 2 years, will try to raise money for them to get a home of their own. They have 3 little children. Her husband was in an accident, making it difficult for him to get a job or work. The small lot has been donated to the family. The Woodruff family and the Pre-Med students delivered more medical supplies to the clinic in Javier. It is amazing what little they have there. We are so grateful to Andy and Sarah Pernick. They visited Javier with us and donated funds to finish the Polanco family home. We have taken so many people to see the home this trip, with hopes that it could be the next one started. We appreciate everyone who has donated to make this happen. 16 of us took down the Polanco home in just 40 minutes. In the end, it was just pushed over. The Polanco home was started the next day, and it was great watching the daily progress. The Uke family from Utah brought over 100 pairs of black shoes for school. These are such needed items. We were able to distribute them to school children. We hosted a wedding for Ali and Manuela. The money was raised by Sharon Jones and her friends, who also raised the money to build them a home last year. With a large group of our guests, we purchased and delivered 77 food packs, dental packs, toys, and more to each family in La Chocolatera. Many people from the resort donated items for distribution. These beautiful baby packs came from Trish Boylan. She also donated dental care packs. John and Kathy Enman donated 9 suitcases filled with clothing and other items. We were able to sort them at the villa and share most of them with Winston and Leo for the communities where they help. Esperanza has a small business selling bras. It's her only source of income. We were able to take more than 100 new bras to her, some which we brought and some donated in the items from John and Kathy Enman. We found a sponsor for Nelson Belkes and their family. They live in a desperate situation. Their home is so tiny and only has 3 walls. They have 3 children. Sharon, Shirley, Debbie, Ann, Robin, Mark, Steve, and Lynette donated 3 large duffel bags of ball gloves and equipment to a team in Puerto Plata. The children were over the moon excited. Pearl Giles, director of PAL Humanitarian, who partners with us, took donations of the IV boards and other items to the hospital. We presented to the volunteer English teachers from ILP about the work of our foundation. There are 32 teachers volunteering their time for 4 months. Many past groups have raised money for houses, roofs, paint, and more. After our presentation, we took them to see 2 of the homes we want to sponsor. Some of them expressed a desire to help. We are still looking for a sponsor for our carpenter, T. Barone. He has helped with every building project that we've done and lives in such bad conditions. His wife has health issues. Their home is being eaten by termites. We hosted Elder Sam Johnson and his wife Kathy Johnson for a day at the villa. They are humanitarian missionaries for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There is a program with LDS Charities to help with prosthetics. They are going to help Mundo get a leg. Zoe will raise the money for his transportation and other expenses. We went with Tonya Granier and Lindsay Wright and their families to Baragwana, a Haitian village. We took 80 food packs to deliver to each family. Lindsay had made 150 hygiene packs. Both groups also shared toys. We raised money for a young missionary to have surgery. He was serving in Mexico, but had to return for adenoid surgery. 2 kind donors from our group, Kent and Kevin, made this possible. After his surgery, he will be able to return to his mission. Mary and Bruce Cahoon raised the money and donated so that Clarence can have a piece of land in Baragwana to build a home in the future. We announced to Tamara that her home would be started next week. We don't have all the funds yet, but she is being evicted from her rental place. Her husband is wrongfully jailed in Colombia from a fishing expedition gone bad. The marking of the land has already taken place. The Polanco family was built up to the roof by the time we left, just 8 days after we tore it down. We found a young sponsor to help Brenda go to English school. She is 10 years old and lives with her great-grandma, Francesca, who is nearly blind with glaucoma. We donated money to Freddie so that he can paint his home. It was one of the first we built, and his income is so meager, he now has a wife and a baby. We continue to support 3 university students, 2 in medical school, and 1 as a lab technician. We also support 2 young people in English school. We continue to feed 6 senior citizens on an ongoing basis with our Feed a Senior program. We are also helping 2 families to pay their rent. We would like to give a big thank you to every one of you who have helped support us on this trip and past trips and who are making a difference to others, one starfish at a time.